is that if you go back before the 20th century, there were no income taxes, there were no regulations on business. You could earn as much money as you want, leave 100% of it to your children with no taxes.
Right.
That's the world they want back. And to get it back, they need society to change. They need people to be less modern. They need people to want fewer things. Is that if you go...
Well, there you go, folks, right there in the intro. You can see that despite all of the claims that have been made over the years of the Democrat Party being completely delusional, having no actual understanding of the conservative movement and what it is that we believe in, Joy Reid lets the cat out of the bag by making it very clear that they do understand what we believe in, but they are directly opposed to the idea that you are able to keep more of your own money, enjoy the fruits of your own labor, and that they believe that government should be in direct control of every aspect of your life, as they are opposed to the idea of limited government. It is made very clear that in the view of the Democrat Party, they own everything you have. They own the fruits of your reward, they own your money, and that anything that they allow you to keep, they consider to be a cost of the government. It also points out something that I've been saying for years. The reason why the Democrats go off and engage in their disgusting rhetoric is because they are desperately trying to hide the fact that everything that they try to accuse the Republican and conservative movement of being is what they themselves are. And they're hoping that if they just shout it first, shout it loud, and shout it often, that you won't notice who the real authoritarian fascists are. And Joy Reid isn't the only one out there accidentally letting the cat out of the bag, as the Democrats, every time they're on camera, can't keep their ego in check, and they can't help but to openly brag about how corrupt and disgusting they are. And in case you missed it, here is a clip from The Hill talking about the statements made by Eric Swalwell.
Companies and individuals.
Well, first, we are making it clear that we're going into the majority a year from now. We have every intention to do that, and so we will bring oversight, accountability. We will subpoena the Department of Justice, but also private actors who have done these drug deals with the administration, college campuses, entertainment companies, law firms. And so accountability is coming. And so, one, it's all coming out. Two, I hope that deters people from doing more of these deals, these one-offs with the president.
So the beatings will continue until morale improves. That's basically the Democrats' message. Don't do what Trump wants or we'll hurt you. Now, Swalwell is clearly referencing a couple different things. Universities agreeing to abide by certain education department policies, media companies ridding themselves of liberal, unfunny late-night hosts, law firms deciding not to do battle with Trump, and so on. I certainly don't agree with all of the decisions that these institutions have made, but they have the right to make them, and they have the right to react to incentives. Do I think the federal government should pressure these companies to behave a certain way? Well, of course not. I've said so. I've criticized Trump for being too heavy-handed when it came to the universities, to Kimmel, and on other issues. Just as I criticized Biden for exhorting social media companies to censor more content. What it sounds like, what Swalwell is conceding, is that the Democrats have no principled opposition to what Trump is doing whatsoever. They just don't like Trump. It's not a very good sales pitch. Imagine if Democrats were reacting to this mostly by saying, hey, you tech CEO.
Well, I think that makes it pretty clear, folks. Eric Swalwell couldn't help but go out there and think that he is flexing and acting tough, talking about all the things that they're going to do once they retake power, how they're not just going to go after Trump and all the members of his administration, but they're going to go after private citizens and private businesses and anybody who didn't openly stand up to and try to resist President Trump and his administration. And how if you complied instead of openly defying and rebelling against President Trump and his administration, that makes you an enemy that they need to punish. But when you think about it, what is the actual threat here? That if the Democrats ever regain power, that they're going to go back to doing exactly what it was they were doing over the last 4 years when the Biden administration was in office? That they were going to once again go back to what led to their decline to begin with, to abuse their power and authority and use the federal government to go after their political opponents? And this is where the narcissism of the Democrat Party really shines through, as they believe themselves to be above the law, that whatever they do, you're just supposed to roll over and accept it. That the true crime is not anything they do, it's not any law that they broke. The true crime in their mind is the idea that they should ever be held accountable in any way, shape, or form for their corruption and abuse of power. And while I'm not in the habit of giving advice to Democrats, I will say this. If you're going to go out there and issue a threat, then it should be at least something that you weren't already going to do, regardless of the actions of the other side. But when your statements are either you do what we say or we're going to do what we were already going to do, even if you didn't listen to us, then there's really no incentive to really care about your threat anyways. But that's just my opinion. Leave your opinion in the comments below and don't forget to hit like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.